Last year's college basketball season was anything but normal. Gone was the pageantry. Gone was the noise. But college basketball is back. And that means one thing, the fans are back. And that means that Big Blue Nation is back. And Big Blue Madness begins right now.
Big Blue Madness is back, and it's back in a big way. Welcome inside Rupp Arena. I got my closest friends, Jimmy Dykes, Debbie Antonelli with me. Jimmy, let's start with you. What do you think of when I say the words Big Blue Madness?
Well, the madness last year was because of only 9 wins in the Big Blue Nation, and that's going to change this year. John Calipari is absolutely loaded up, especially in the transfer portal with guard play and shooters. This is a roster, watching the last 2 days, built to contend for the SEC title, built to contend to get back to another Final Four.
Oh, it's all about speed for the Wildcats, that's for sure. They've loaded up in the backcourt. Their guard play is outstanding. And you know what, Jimmy? We're used to seeing a lot of #1 draft picks come out of Kentucky, right? Well, the best player on the floor tonight could be Ryan Howard, who could be the #1 draft pick. 2-time SEC Player of the Year. That's what I'm looking forward to.
There will be talent on both sides, the men's side, the women's side. Let's start it off with Kyra Elzy's squad and get to know these Kentucky Wildcats.
Yeah, we on a mission. You can see us on the front line. I know that we different, but we come together when it's crunch time. Cause we on a mission. We on a mission.
Left corner three in the air. Bada. Not driving right. Treasure to the basket. Shot is good.
I know that we different, but we come together when it's crunch time. Cause we on a mission. We on a mission. So bring the militia.
Howard, step back three. Bada.
Big Blue Nation, it is madness! Are you ready for some basketball? Then get on your feet and make some noise for your University of Kentucky women's basketball team. A 5'9" freshman from Youngstown, Ohio. Number 4, Kristen Crenshaw Gill. A 5'7" freshman from Richmond, Virginia. Number 11, Jada Walker. A 6'1" sophomore from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Number 12, Treasure Hunt. A 6'3" sophomore from Whitewood, South Carolina. Number 21, Naya Leveretter. A 6'2" redshirt junior from Las Vegas, Nevada, number 44, Driana Edwards.
Did a lot just to live this here lifestyle. Came straight from the bottom to the top of my lifestyle.
A 5'10" junior from Stanford, Kentucky, number 34, Emma King.
Rain, but it's stormy. I got this chip on my shoulder forever. I got this chip on my shoulder forever.
A 6'4" redshirt junior from Albany, New York, number 00, Olivia Owens. A 5'9" senior from Conyers, Georgia, number 1, Robin Benton.
So hard to be starved, but I'm respecting, son. Unless your songs involved, don't mind it makes a ton. Got my spine invested in this. I'll do my best to win this, cause treachery is endless.
A 6-foot senior from Harlan County, Kentucky,
You never been quite the same.
number 5, Blair Green.
Damn, I ain't ashamed. Matter of fact, I'm proud of the way I talk, y'all. It sounds a little bit like my daddy, and don't cuss around my mama. Got some words you never heard unless you come from down yonder. The man
A
upstairs.
6'2" senior from Cleveland, Tennessee, number 10, Ryan Howard.
I'm gonna be cautious. Go with all this flexing stuff, hopping on and off jet stuff. Even at your best, never come today. You know, often I get so lost in my thoughts.
A 6-foot senior from Chattanooga, Tennessee, number 3, Jasmine Massengill.
I got my own fight, don't need security in the club. All they wolfing on the net. I thought you was a thug. I ain't got nowhere to go for it, but I shower they would.
Your Wildcats are assisted by Associate Head Coach Kaya Butts, assistant coaches Amber Smith and Gail Gestingcore.
When I walk through, I got sauce too. Gang with that gang.
How do you describe the last, let's call it 30 hours of your life?
It's been an emotional roller coaster. It's an amazing opportunity for me to have the opportunity to lead this program.
SEC is the best conference in the country. Night in and night out, it's going to be a dogfight. You're going to have to grind it out. No one's going to just give you a victory. You have to really earn it. And as far as us closing it out, big-time players make big-time plays when you need it.
If it's up, then it's up, then it's up, then it's stuck. If it's up, then it's up, then it's up, then it's stuck. Up, then it's up. If it's up, then it's stuck. If it's up, then it's up, then it's up, then it's stuck. If it's up, then it's up, then it's up, then it's stuck.
And your head coach of Kentucky women's basketball, Kyra Elzy.
Follow me, follow me, follow me, girl, be yourself. That's what I be myself. And love it. Let them get mad. They gon' hate anyway, don't you get back? Doesn't matter if you're going wrong with their plan. They'll never be happy cause they're not happy with themselves. I'm talking about things that I know. It's okay, show yourself some love. Don't worry about who's saying the word. Work what you got.
it. If you're going to commit to it, give me a go, Big Blue. Go, Big Blue. Go, Big Blue. See you in Memorial Coliseum.
All right, here we go. Big Blue Madness is underway, and already 5-year-old Jackson Elzy is the star of the show. When we return to Rupp Arena, the women will be on the floor. We'll talk Ryan Howard and this 10-person roster. What's in store for the Kentucky Wildcats? SEC football final comes your way tomorrow night after SEC Saturday night. Ole Miss and Tennessee from Rocky Top. Chiz, Doring, Dari, Benjamin, Watson will break down the entire day of games, including, undefeated Kentucky and undefeated Georgia from Athens. Ticket distribution a little bit different this year. No camping out, so after it sold out online in just an hour, players went around to their respective communities and handed them out. What a cool moment. Welcome back to courtside, everybody. Rupp Arena, Tom Hart, Debbie Antonelli, and Jimmy Dykes get ready to see Kyra Elzy take the floor with her team, year number 2. Okay, is Ryan Howard, we know Ryan Howard's the headliner.
Right.
But big picture, what can we expect from this Kentucky team?
Well, I think this is an improved Kentucky team over last year because Ryan Howard is so capable in her versatility of playing 1 through 4, and they've got others that are going to have to step up. Rebounding will be an issue early, Jimmy, but I think Ryan Howard is the X factor every night. She's on the top of the scouting report. She can get you 30 any night against any opponent.
She's absolutely a superstar. You and I watched him practice this morning at 7 a.m. Dominates the court in so many ways. Her game has grown over the last 3 years. And an interesting personality. She's really grown into that leadership. She trusts her voice now. I walked into the craft center with her yesterday and to watch the men practice. And after visiting with her for about 3 or 4 minutes, I said, I've got to ask you one thing. What's more dynamic, your smile or your game? She said, I never had that question asked. I'm pretty good at both. She's a beautiful young lady with an unbelievable basketball game.
Two-time SEC Player of the Year, Smiler of the Year, I suppose. The team that went to the tournament last year, lost to Iowa in the NCAA tournament. The roster is relatively thin, just the sheer numbers. So we'll talk about that during the scrimmage, but how do you counter that?
Well, you're going to have to manage the game in a certain way because you don't have as much depth as you had in the past. I think Kyra Elzy and her staff are perfectly capable of getting the game to a workable number. Now, this is an experienced staff. Adding Gail Gessenkorse, a Hall of Famer, brings another element. Lynn Dunn is still working as a consultant along with Nia Butts and along with Amber Smith. So, I think Ryan Howard has to get big numbers every night. She's got to manage playing 35 minutes a game. She's got to know when to step back on the defensive end. And I think she's mature enough to be able to handle all of that and take Kentucky to a special place this year.
Yeah, Debbie, I couldn't agree more. Gail Gessenkorse, first of all, was a home run hire. And that's a Hall of Fame coach with a lot of knowledge on that sideline. It says a lot about Kyra to trust that hire and not have an ego. I love the message that Kyra has said to her young ladies since this summer. We have enough in this gym to win like we want to win. She's driving that point home really well.
You know who else drives home the point well? Sean Farnham. He's hosting the three-point contest on the floor here at Rupp Arena.
All right, now that the teams are warmed up and we're ready to go, we're gonna do our first shooting competition of the night. Here's how it works. They're gonna have 2 minutes. There's 5 spots. Each team has to make 5 shots before they move on to the next spot. The team that gets the furthest is the team that wins. But we're gonna make it a little more interesting. So, Coach Amber Smith, what team you got? Amber Smith is gonna be with the white team, and this side of the arena, you're gonna be with the white team, all right? This side of the arena, your team is the white team, all right? Nia Butts, you're with the blue team. This side of the arena, you are cheering for the blue team, all right? So let's give it one time. This side of the arena, let's hear it for the white team. I think this side can do better. This side of the arena, let's hear it for the blue team. Oh boy. I'm gonna give y'all one more chance. Let's hear it for the white team, one more time. Better, better, much better. That was beautiful.
change it up just a little bit.
Okay, let's do it.
All right, I want to hear this side say blue, white, white, blue, blue, white. All right, let's start this
2
thing up.
minutes on the clock, teams. We ready? Let's shoot some basketball. There we go. Let's get it. Winning team and winning side gets t-shirts, so you might want to cheer for your team. Made 29 of them last season, right, Dre? One more on this side. Amber, what's going on? What's going on, coach? What's going on, coach? There we go. There we go. That's it. Less than 30 seconds. Blue side, we're in the lead. Final 10 seconds. Blue side, give it up for your winners. Team Blue, you're passing out t-shirts to your side. Throw them out to them. We're just playing. We get t-shirts for everybody. Everybody gets t-shirts.
All right, as these t-shirts are being thrown back out at you, we're getting ready for the three-point contest. So as quickly as we can, we're gonna get these shirts out. The three-point contest is gonna have 4 contestants. 60 seconds will be on the clock. Every ball is worth 1 point, except for the blue money ball. The blue money ball will be worth 2 points. The top 2 will go to the finals.
All right, our first contestant in the three-point shooting contest. She has just about every accolade imaginable, but we're just gonna roll with your reigning back-to-back SEC Player of the Year. Give it up for Ryan Howard.
Ryan, are we ready? Here we go in 3, 2, 1.
There it is.
Money ball.
There we go. We need a little more noise when she makes a shot, crew.
Money ball.
Still plenty of time, 20 seconds.
Great job, Ryan. All right, coming up next. She is the pride of Stanford, Kentucky. Number 34, Emma King. Emma, you can go on either side of the rack, whatever you want. Whatever you want. All right, you ready, Emma? In 3, 2, 1. Seconds. There it is. 'Got a 9. A 9 for Emma King. Ryan Howard's score was officially tabulated at a 17 for Ryan Howard.
Hey, Blair had 9. How do you feel about your effort so far?
I say that was pretty good for the first one, first couple shots. Hopefully we'll make it to the second round. I feel confident. I mean, it's just a great day.
It is a great day. What are you most excited about tonight?
Just being here with all the fans and just having a good time and making it a good time for them.
What about your expectations for the season, Ryan? You're a person that has to play 35 minutes. You're going to have the ball in your hands a lot in a lot of different spots on the floor. What'd you do to get ready for this season?
Just make sure I'm staying focused and well-conditioned because, like you said, I'm going to be playing a lot of time. And just making the easy plays, really, work smarter, not harder. So as long as I take the pressure off myself, everything else will follow.
3 times you've won a gold medal with USA Basketball. Twice you've been the SEC Player of the Year, and you've led the league in scoring. What's next?
SEC Player of the Year, All-American, all the accolades will come, I'm sure of it. But really, I'm just focusing on myself, focusing on my team.
We know what you're capable of doing. If Kentucky's going to have success this year, what else has to happen for your team?
For my team, for us, we just need to make sure everyone's on the same page and everyone has the same goal and going towards the same direction.
As you go through the SEC one more time in your career, is there one particular thing that you're thinking about this season?
One person who I think will have a good year? I'm going to say Aaliyah Boston.
What about what you're looking forward to on the road as a player?
On the road, I'm really looking to disappoint the home team's fans.
It's fans is the key word this year, right? Fans are the key word this year.
Fans are the key word this year.
All right, well, go back out there and get after it. All right, good job. All right, great job, Treasure. Our finals are set.
with Ryan and Blair. Ryan Howard, come on over here for a second. Drea, figure out what she wants to do.
Blair, you're a Kentucky girl from Harlan County.
Yes, sir.
What does that mean to wear that uniform in this state?
Oh, it just means so much. I mean, but it just means a lot. A lot of kids look up to me, and a lot of kids want to get out of and play for Kentucky. That's their dream. So just be able to be that role model and just come up here and show them that they can do it, it just means everything to me.
Ryan Howard told me yesterday, y'all are like sisters, best friends, roommates, correct?
Yes.
Tell me one thing about Ryan Howard that maybe we don't know.
That you don't know? She's sneaky.
She's sneaky.
She's sneaky. And hilarious. I love her to death, but I gotta go beat her right now.
All right, good luck to you. Thank you.
A lot of energy, Big Blue Nation. When she hits it, let's give it up for her. There we go.
She's at 6.
A little more energy and a little more cheer for Ryan Howard. Plenty of time. There we go. That's it. Look at what happens. Look at what happens, Big Blue Nation. Money ball. Oh.
The score posted is 11 for Ryan Howard, 11 for Ryan Howard. All right, Blair, get to your rack. Blair, are you ready? Here we go. In 3,
All right, so Blair's doesn't have a tough task in front of her to win. Ryan was kind of cold that last round.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan is a 37% three-point shooter, and she told us when she came over here that her hands felt a little bit cold. I'm telling you right now, when Blair heats up, she's a great catch and shoot for Kentucky.
Well, Blair's favorite spot on the floor, Jimmy, is apparently the top of the key. That's where she got her first round going. She hit 4 from the top of the key, then 4 from the right wing, and that included the money ball top of the key.
Debbie said she's really good at catch and shoot. She's pretty good at grab and shoot as well. She got a really nice rhythm going right now. Her feet are very soft, very quiet. I watched that this morning. 5 and white is a real threat beyond that three-point line all season long.
For the tie. And she's got 2 for the win. She struggled with the last rack in the corner first time around. And that's a winner. How about Blair Green? Let me keep shooting. If there's a ball out there, I'm going to shoot it.
Pretty good muscle memory and the ability to self-correct. And you see those roommates right there with a big hug. I bet they had a little side bet on that one.
What do you think she meant by sneaky?
I think she's sneaky off screens. I think she's sneaky in transition. That's the kind of sneaky I'm talking about. I don't know what Blair's talking about.
Pride of Harlan, Kentucky. Blair Green takes home the three-point
It's a different sneaky than you, Tom Hart. We do know that.
I respect that. I really do. So there's a lot to talk about with this Kentucky women's basketball team. You know, this time last year, it was a program in flux and in change. Debbie, the idea that the head coach steps away, Elzy takes over, first time as a head coach, and takes them to the tournament. What a run for the Cats.
Yeah, I mean, Elzy has had a career that's put her in a position to be ready to take on this moment. And you know, when you slide over those 18 inches that everybody talks about, it's an entirely different tempo and it's entirely different decision-making effort for her. And she handled it so well last year. She wins those first 6 games. Mitch Barnhart says we're taking the interim off and makes her the head coach.
You know, we talked with her this morning. One of the first things I asked her was, everyone will tell you, and I've been in that spot before, your first year as a head coach is an absolute whirlwind, and it was for her. She did a fantastic job being thrown into not an easy situation. She has her culture, she has her program running like it wants to be. She believes in her young ladies. I did pick up on that. I love the fact, I go back to it again, she's told them for months now, we've got all we need to win. That's a great culture right there.
I mean, when we were at practice at 7 o'clock this morning, the energy level was very high. And when you've got Dreana Edwards and another player like Robin Benton who can help take some pressure off of Ryan Howard, Treasure Hunt is going to have to be able to step up her game. And you see right there, Ryan Howard that's the way she's going to be guarded all year, Jimmy. I mean, that's going to be the way it is on the scout report.
So we can hear from you guys, or we can hear from Kyra herself. So why don't you guys, we don't need to tether you down here. Take my mic with you. Go talk to Coach. Let's talk about this team. All right, 6.5 minutes in a scrimmage. Go figure. Starts out with Ryan Howard getting the bucket. And the Cats want to push the tempo a little bit. I wish Jimmy and Debbie would push the tempo a little bit, taking their sweet time getting down there. Come on. And guys, make sure you ask her about Jackson and who taught Jackson those sweet dance moves, all right?
Dre better hit this.
Oh, we're over here right now.
She's mad that I didn't put her in the
All right, we're here. We're ready.
contest.
Coach, what you see out there right now?
Well, right now, Dre's proving me wrong. She told me during practice she was mad at me for not putting her in the three-point contest. So the first shot she got tonight, she was going to shoot a three, and it went in. So I guess the player was right on this. In this case.
Coach, was that Jackson Elzy or Michael Jackson? Where did this come from? Very well done, by the way.
Robbery at its finest. You know, he told me for a cameo appearance, it was going to cost me $40.16 and a pop-it. So I guess he really wanted it because he came out and did it.
How'd they bribe you to come out of the ceiling there?
Yeah, what was that view like?
Well, that was an unbelievable view. Let me tell you, my nerves were going crazy up there waiting. But I definitely wanted to do something different with Coach. They've been asking me without going to dance. I was like, that came with Coach, it's leaving with Coach.
Typically, Kentucky has been a program that likes to run, play with pace, full court pressure. What will we see with your 10 bodies this year?
The same thing. We're going to play up-tempo. Let's hope we don't shoot an air ball, but we're going to play up-tempo. We're going to be aggressive. We need to be disruptive defensively. And fitness, we've worked on it all year long. So with 10 bodies, being in shape is going to matter.
Kyra, I was talking earlier. I know the message from you to your young ladies for the last few months has been, we have what we need in this gym to win. Not a huge roster, but just expand on that a little bit in that mentality, because I love it.
Yeah. Well, we have 10 bodies, but they all work hard. They bought into the program. We talked about the culture kid all summer, being coachable, having a winning mentality, being tough, being a great teammate, working hard, and these 10 kids possess all of that, so I'm excited about what the future holds for this program.
So, Kyra, when you've got a player on your team like Ryan right here with the ball in her hands, two-time SEC Player of the Year, you've played with a lot of great players at your time at Tennessee. How do you prepare her senior season when you know she needs to put up big numbers offensively, and how do you move her around the floor so you try to take some pressure off of her defensively?
Well, one good thing about Ryan, she's so versatile. She can play the 1 through the 4 in our system. So you have to be able to move her around offensively, put her in the middle of the floor for ball screens, post her up. We've really worked a lot this summer on posting up. She can score on all 3 levels. So the biggest thing for us is fitness. Her being able to play 30-plus minutes, drawing the best defender. She took a lot of body shots last year, but she committed to getting in shape this summer.
Yeah, she told us today at practice that was something she definitely spent her time on. She was flexing and showing us her core and showing us how strong she's gotten.
Kyra, talk about the experience at Fort Campbell, Kentucky, working out with the troops. Why did you go there and what did you get out of it?
Well, one thing we talked about all summer is toughness, mental toughness and physical toughness. And that was an experience with the staff and players that we were in the trenches together, that it's going to take all of us. No one is bigger than this team. And let me tell you, that was an experience of a lifetime. I was thinking while we were doing it, why I thought of this idea. It sounded good until we got there, but it was an experience that will really change the trajectory of this team.
Well, maybe it had an influence on you propelling from the ceiling. When you look at the SEC, all your time in the league, you've been in the league for so long as a player and a coach. Now you're the head coach of Kentucky. What does the league look like to you? We know South Carolina is good, but after that, what are you thinking about what your team needs to do to be able to have success?
Well, South Carolina is obviously very talented, but this league is talented from top to bottom. And the thing about this league, on any given night, you can get beat. The physicality, the athleticism, the coaches in this league. But when I think about our team, like I said, we are undersized. We got to be tough. We have to play disruptive, and we have to find ways to put points on the board, scoring off of our defense.
I think that would be fun to coach. I mean, I think there's a lot of fun in the versatility and what you can do with a team that doesn't have a lot of size, because you're certainly not a slow team.
We are not. So it takes energy to coach this team. Like you came to practice, you got to give energy. That's what we're asking for them, energy. So we're expecting the same thing from them.
Coach, it seems like Ryan continues to grow into her voice, trusting her voice, all those things. Talk about her growth as a leader, please.
Well, you know, I'm so proud of her. This summer, I challenged Ryan and Jasmine Massengale to step up as a leader. You know, Ryan has always been a lead by example, but not using her voice. But she really stepped up with this team, and she's using her voice. I text her and ask her to do different things with the team. We have a leadership council that she's worked all summer with, and that has given her a lot of confidence.
What offense were you running out here the last 7 or 8 minutes?
I don't know what offense we're running, but I'm glad they're having a good time today, but we'll clean it up tomorrow. But we don't know what this is. I think we're trying to get the alley to Ron, but we've turned it over twice, so we better practice that to get better. Here's Dre with another 3.
I think you sold a couple of season tickets today out here. I think you sold a couple of tickets with your three-point shooting contest in the scrimmage.
Well, this is going to be a fun team, so I hope everybody comes out and watches them. They have worked hard and they deserve it.
Thank you, Kyra. Thanks.
Thank you. Go Cats.
Well, the night started with her rappelling down from the Raptors. It continued with her son Jackson showing off his dance moves, and her team wrapping up their first Big Blue Madness here at Rupp Arena in her second season as head coach. When we return, the 24-time national champions will be on the floor. It's a Kentucky cheer team. This you will not want to miss. Big Blue Madness rolls on from Rupp Arena in Lexington. My guys Marty McGee are in Athens, Georgia for the big Kentucky UGA matchup tomorrow. Hopefully Marty's recovered from his celebrity kickball injury playing the hot corner. And Ryan will take him through the morning action, and then SEC Nation follows a preview of that game and everything else going on in the SEC tomorrow. The Kentucky women's basketball team's night started coming in on the blue carpet. Listen, it's not just the fans in the stands. They are treated like queens on this specific night on Big Blue Madness and made to feel like the superstars that they are.
I mean, it's awesome. Look at they're being their authentic selves walking in on the blue carpet. I mean, you got to love it, right? It's just fun. This is such a special night. You know, the fans are here. The fans are engaged. The players were excited this morning, and I thought they performed well.
Hey, Jimmy, this is your scout now. All right, walk us through the 24-time national champion.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I was told to go through the west entrance on the concrete, not the blue carpet.
Show me what you do. Show me now. We don't have to go out. Welcome to my house. Welcome to my house. Welcome to my duck off the crib, the spot, the pad. But my house is your house if you throwing it back. Excuse me if my home draining the sand. Soon as these happy faces there, you can run with the cash. Home run, slam dunk, touchdown, bang. We got fans 2,000, so it ain't no holding back.
for your 24-time national champion, Kentucky Cheerleaders.
This is Kentucky.
I was actually at practice last night. Ryan Martin O'Connor, the head cheerleading coach of Kentucky, a friend of our family, is in her second year. Former Kentucky cheerleader, Alabama cheerleader, and All-American, doing an unbelievable job with her squad this year. I love watching teams practice, no matter what the sport. And that practice last night, for about an hour and a half that I was there was accountability. It was a player-driven, athlete-driven practice. They listened to one another. They corrected one another. There's a standard of excellence that goes on to that Kentucky program all the time. And it was, I told her afterwards, I learn when I go watch teams practice, but their accountability, their commitment to excellence is why they have won, Kentucky Cheer, more national titles than all the other schools in the country put together. And they'll make a run at another one this year at the Nationals down in Orlando in the middle of January.
Jimmy, great coaches, great programs carry expectations and pressure.
Yeah.
Do they feel that?
Absolutely they do. I mean, you look at the national champion banners hung up in their practice facility. They know why they came to Kentucky. These are recruited athletes that grind away every day, and they actually get on the bus tonight after Big Blue Madness and bus to the game tomorrow in Georgia. And they're committed to their cause. But they have just a terrific belief, a terrific culture of faith about them. But I was really impressed with the athlete accountability towards each other yesterday evening.
You know, Jimmy, all great teams, like we're getting ready to see with the Kentucky men come out here after this. You've got to be able to communicate. You have to trust. Look at the amount of trust that's required to do what these athletes are doing on the floor right now. And the choreograph and the way they are in sync is what you want as a basketball team, is your teams to execute like this.
Yeah, and Coach Ryan, what I call her, we talked yesterday about, she said, I want competitive athletes in this gym in a Kentucky uniform. And that's what she has this year. Those kids are fighters, they're tough. It didn't go their way last year. They finished third in the nation, which is outstanding when you step back and look at it. But the goal is another one of those right there, another national championship banner. Team of fighters, a team of competitors. I really enjoyed my time with them yesterday evening.
You know, great performance like this is kind of like watching a fireworks show. It's fun, it's fantastic, but the build up towards the end is what people are really waiting for and what they have to nail to win the next national championship.
It's a lot like working with you.
You're talking about Tom, right?
Right.
Yeah. It is so cool. It is so fun to watch. Everything is a high wire act when it comes to live television, Jimmy.
Well done, Kentucky Cheer. Well done.
I want you to bring out Jimmy's jet and see where they seat. I got him in first class before basketball even starts.
No doubt.
Big Blue Madness continues. We'll meet John Calipari's squad trying to get back on track here in the Bluegrass. Back to Rupp in a minute. Triple header coming your way tomorrow on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. Texas A&M fresh up its upset off #1 Bama goes to Como to take on Mizzou. Andrea will make the trip down to Billy Bryce, Vanderbilt, and South Carolina. And then SEC Saturday night, I'll be on Rocky Top with Jordan Nicole. That's a big one. Expect a lot of points for Lane Kiffin's return to Knoxville, Ole Miss, in Tennessee. 7:30 Eastern on the SEC Network, and as always available on the ESPN app. It's not just a new roster for this Kentucky squad and John Calipari. Hey there. But it's also a new coaching staff in many ways. Lights are out, and John Calipari and this Kentucky men's basketball team. Let's get a chance to meet these cats.
Tradition.
Out here in the field.
Formed overnight.
We're going to bring a lot of joy to the people in the Commonwealth.
It can't be created by one man.
Be willing to make the sacrifices that you could only make if you were a champion.
It's forged by the relentless pursuit of a common goal.
And they don't put banners up here for anything else except national champions.
By generations of passion, dedication, and commitment. By individuals who come together as one. And by legends.
Love these moments. This is why you do what you do, playing games like this. Together, you have fun with each other and pick each other up, keep challenging each other, encouraging each other.
Kentucky Secretariat out of the game.
He's blocked by Davis. 31 points. But it didn't fall.
Jim in the corner. It's good. He's fouled. Oh, my. Gills lays it in, and the Wildcats win. Kyle Mason. Johnny Meeks. Patrick, 43. Good.
Walker with three. On his way. It's good. Kentucky wins.
Big Blue Nation, welcome to Rupp Arena, home of the greatest tradition in the history of college basketball. Let's meet your 2021 Kentucky men's basketball team. A 6'6" junior from Mount Sterling, Kentucky. Number 14, Brandon Canada. A 5'8" sophomore from Camden, New Jersey. Number 25, Kareem Watkins.
You can't imagine the way that this cat
A 6'9" freshman from Atlanta, Texas. Number 4, Damian Collins. A 6'6" freshman from Oak Park, Illinois. Number 23, Bryce Hopkins. A 6'9" sophomore from Camden, New Jersey. Number 55, Lance Ware. A 6'3" freshman from Phoenix, Arizona. Number 3, Ty Washington Jr.
Catch some bad, walk down, face them with me. Your feature on your way to see. Stress me when I can't sleep.
A 6'6" redshirt sophomore from Melbourne, Kentucky. Number 11, Dante Allen.
I got a whole lot of money. Count it for me. Bottle keep popping that water, man. It's a party.
A 6'7" junior from Fort Wayne, Indiana. Number 12, Keon Brooks Jr.
Got a little guap when you get a lot. Wanna you want red? Don't push me, get my feet on the ledge. This game is
A
like
6'9" junior from Brooklyn, New York. Number 0, Jacob Thomas. A 6'9" junior from Lubbock, Democratic Republic of the Congo. Number 34, Oscar Shibwe.
Why you do me like Joanna? Why you do me like Joanna? Joanna. How you gonna do me like
A
Joanna?
5'9" junior from Houston, Texas. Number 2, Xavier Wheeler.
She like the way that I move. She like the way that I rock. She like the way that I move. No fat get anything. No fat but what you get.
A 6'3" redshirt junior from Cincinnati, Ohio. Number 1, C.J. Frederick. A 6'4" redshirt junior from Lexington, Kentucky. Number 20, Sam Tay.
I told Bay get 22 inches of weed tonight. Even my birthday, but
A 6'5" grad student from Boston, Massachusetts. Number 31, Kevin Brady. A 6'3" grad student from Charlotte, North Carolina. Number 10, Davion Benson.
I told her, whoa, I beat it.
Thank you. I'm humbled, yet I'm excited about leading this storied program.
2K for UK. It's in Knight's hand. Here he shoots. Wildcats take out the number 1. Put the put in! Julius Randle! A win for the Wildcats in overtime! Oh! Unrivaled and undefeated. Monk. Got it! That's the hero. 3 for the lead. Yes! College basketball's national championship trophy is coming home to Kentucky.
And the head coach of Kentucky, Hall of Famer, John Calipari.
Wow. Can I just say, boy, have I missed that roar. What an incredible night this is to celebrate the return of college basketball. What a great evening to bring our basketball family together with you again to honor what makes this the greatest tradition in the history of college basketball. Tonight is about your dedication, your passion, and your support of this great program and these incredible young men. Tonight, as we tip off a new season, we remind everyone what separates Kentucky from everyone else. It's you, the fans. Tonight, we celebrate you. And as I stand here before you tonight, I am reminded how much we miss your energy you provide. We truly understand the advantage you provide us. You embrace these young men and make them part of your family for life. And some of them are here tonight. Darius Miller, where are you? How about Jody Meeks? He just walked in. Wayne Turner's here. Goose Givens is here. Dale Brown is here. And I hate to tell you, one of my favorites, Dominic Hawkins. You create an environment unlike any other for our guys to perform, and you support them every step of the way on their journey. You've been cheering. How about 43 draft picks, 32 first rounders, 3 #1 picks? You've been with them as they reached their dreams. You lift us and you elevate us to another level. You ready? In the biggest moments, you've been our heartbeat while we've gone to more Final Fours, more Elite Eights, and more NCAA tournament wins than any program over the last 12 seasons. You've been there as we've won 6 SEC regular season championships and 6 tournament titles. And the 2012 national championship. And you've played a part in all those accomplishments. You pack this arena every game, and you travel with us everywhere we go. You people snatched up all of these tickets within an hour to see these kids practice tonight. When's the last time I've said, you people are crazy, you're nuts? You were also there for us in the darkest of times. In April, we lost a son, a brother, a young man with his whole life ahead of him. Terence Clarke came into the gym every day with a smile on his face and a spirit about him that rubbed off on everyone he touched. To Terence's family, who are here with us tonight, Osmond Clarke, Tatiana Gray, Gavin Clarke, and his grandmother, Ingrid Clarke. Grandma, how are you? The players have a special gift for you, Osmond. You got it, Lance? You and... Can you show what they are? The TV, you can show them? I'm so sorry Terence didn't have an opportunity to experience this in person, but I know he's here in spirit tonight. And we, again, the Big Blue Nation, loved your son, and you know what? Why don't we show him how much we loved him? There have been a lot of changes in our sport over the last couple years. The ground is shifting beneath our feet, and we have to be nimble and flexible. But the vision of this program has not changed. Putting players first, helping them reach their dreams remains the mission. When they succeed, we all succeed. We cannot do this without understanding the foundation upon which this program was built. 8 national titles, 17 Final Fours, 55 All-Americans, the winningest program in the history of college basketball. The teams and the players who have hung those banners hanging above us created a legacy to follow. You ready? The Fabulous Five, the Fiddlin' Five, the Unforgettables, the Untouchables, the Comeback Kids, the 2010 Draft Cats. And how about our 2 teams who have won more games in a single season than anyone in our sport, 38 games. For those teams, guys like John Wall, DeMarcus Cousins, Brandon, Knight, Anthony, Davis, and now I'm gonna rattle them off. Michael Kidd, Nerlens, Julius, Carl. There's this kid, Devin Booker, how's he doing? There's not one Tyler, there's 2 Tylers. Jamal Murray, De'Aaron, how about that kid, Bam? Shea and PJ and Keldon and Emmanuel quickly. Tyrese, and I can go on and on with Derek and John and Jared. I mean, there are so many, but we now stand on their shoulders as they stood on the shoulders of the player before them. Our challenge today, and challenging you, Big Blue Nation, is to come together like never before. You have always been a difference maker for us. And I ask you tonight, this season, take it to a new level. We have missed you last year, and we look forward to taking to the court again in front of you. And before I go, because it's been so long, let me hear that unmistakable chant that everyone knows and our opponents fear. Let's do it together one time and show these young men what it feels like to hear the Big Blue Nation roar. Go, Big Blue. Go. 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 All right, thank you. Let's watch these young men. You're going to have some fun.
Well, when John Calipari gets the microphone, it's one part pep rally, one part church revival. And when we return, we'll see the revival of this Kentucky basketball program, the talent they brought in from other Power 5 programs, and the freshmen that could be one and done once again. John Calipari's Cats take the floor for Big Blue Madness right after this. SEC football final coming your way tomorrow night after SEC Saturday night football with Ole Miss and Tennessee. Dari, Chiz, Doring, and Benjamin Watson will wrap up the entire day's action, including Mark Stoops' Kentucky Wildcats trying to stay undefeated 6-0 on the road at 6-0 Georgia. It was a busy September for John Calipari. In a month's span, a statue unveiled of him at UMass outside the Mullins Center. Dr. J, Marcus Camby, the late Jack Lemmon, the ones also honored with statues there. And then the court at Clarion University named in his honor. There's now a Coach Cal Court. Pretty good run, pretty good September, all leading into this fall and this team. Welcome back, Tom, Debbie, Jimmy. You look at this Kentucky team, it's obvious where the impact is. It's not just one and done freshmen. Yes, those are possible too. But the guys who have transferred in from other Power 5 programs, including a point guard from Georgia, Xavier Wheeler, who set the assist record there, coming to a team that was needing some help in the backcourt.
Well, Jimmy, you know, we know in college basketball you got to have great guards. Yeah. And Kentucky has added a great guard who has experience in the SEC. Xavier Wheeler, I say he answers the 3 W's. Who to get the ball to, when and where. Back-to-back years leading this league in assists. He has speed. He has IQ. He's got incredible finishing ability at the rim. And ball pressure defensively allows him to be able to make some plays on the other side of the ball. So this is a great pickup in the transfer portal for Kentucky, and having his experience is going to matter.
He changes Kentucky's team. Last year, Kentucky didn't have a guard that could go by someone. They didn't have a guard that could make easy plays and get easy baskets. They didn't have a ball hawk defensively. And he has a great voice as a leader, a great personality. He comes in with the maturity to lead what is actually an older Kentucky team.
He does look weird in blue, though. I got to admit, it's a different look for him. It looks like he still has those Georgia Red Sox.
He's not the only guy in the building tonight that looks weird in blue.
Look, he's fast. If you're not paying attention, he's going to run right by both of you.
No, there's another guy who was wearing black and yellow last year, C.J. Frederick. We talk about the need for guard play. Frederick was at Iowa, 47% shooter from behind the arc. They also need guys who can knock down shots. He's one of them.
Tom, I had the game last year, North Carolina at Iowa, and C.J. Frederick knocked down 5 threes. There's one of them in that ball game. He was the best shooter in the transfer portal. No question in college basketball, Cal brought in what was the best available shooter. He changes the Kentucky offense, especially, Debbie, when they go to dribble drive. You have to stay out on him. Now the gaps are there.
Well, and that's exactly what Coach Cal wants, that dribble drive with not just Xavier Wheeler, but Ty Washington and Davion Mint's ability to get into the gaps. This is a catch and shoot C.J. Frederick, who's more athletic, more capable off the bounce than you think. but his ability to shoot the three, these fans are going to absolutely love him running baseline to baseline, corner to corner, knocking down triples. He's going to be fun to keep an eye on.
There are shooters and there are scorers, and Kellen Grady is both of those, a 2,000-point scorer at Davidson.
Well, this is a kid that can score really from anywhere on the floor, Tom, and he's done it the last 2 days in practice. I've seen him jump up and make corner threes, top the key threes. He's got a really nice floater game, and he is all of 6'5", if not 6'6". He comes out of a winning program. He has adjusted to the speed of the Kentucky practice. I'm telling you what, Kellen Grady is going to be a major, major factor in the SEC.
A 2,000-point scorer that they pick up in the transfer portal. And not just that, when you watch his footwork, his ability off the ball, the way he works off screens, and his exit cut, the way he gets outside the three-point line after the basket cut to get outside and get his feet set. He is going to be a dynamic player for Kentucky.
Kentucky has missed having a guy who can clean the glass. They got Mr. Windex, Oscar Tshiebwe, full season at West Virginia, led the nation in offensive rebounding percentage, and they're going to need size inside in this conference.
Well, he brings a physical presence, a two-handed rebounder, a great finisher on the offensive end, the muscle in the middle that Kentucky lacks. He's not long, but he's strong, he's bulky, and he can finish around the bucket. He's going to be really a handful for opponents to deal with, and help the spacing on the floor because they can throw it in there, Jimmy, and he can make a play.
Tom, I love Oscar Tshiebwe, just getting to see him for 2 days. And here's what I love about the kid. He has a joyful spirit, a grateful spirit, a thankfulness about him every time he steps on the floor. He takes coaching. He's a sponge right now, absorbing everything that Cal's throwing at him. I think he's a real energy giver and an uplifter. That's unusual to describe a big guy like that. Normally we talk about guards. I think he has a lot of that in him. He's a terrific, terrific rebounder that's going to be a real force in this league and beyond.
He told me he speaks 5.5 languages. I said, what's the half? Well, Congolese, he understands. He doesn't speak as well as he used to, but he speaks basketball lingo too, and they want a guy inside. They got a guy inside. Now, there'll be a few guys that we may not see run the floor totally tonight that have been limited. We'll talk about that once they start scrimmaging. Here are the transfers and their numbers. Guys, what I think is even bigger than the numbers is the stage that they have all played on. Whether it was the Big Ten, the Atlantic 10, the Big 12, or Xavier Wheeler in the SEC, for the most part, they come from winning programs. They played in big games. I don't know if anybody besides Iowa played in bigger games last year, and yet you're out there getting that big game experience in front of big crowds. That's awfully valuable.
Tom, the things that count the most can't be counted. I saw all the stats on those guys, but to your point, those guys have done it on big stages in meaningful ball games. They're not going to be shook by playing in Rupp Arena and being in front of an SEC crowd on the road. This is a rebuilt roster. That's not new to Kentucky. What's new to Kentucky is how the roster has been rebuilt. Older guys, different spots that Calipari lacked last year. Point guard, no longer an issue. Shooting, no longer an issue. Physical presence, no longer an issue. A maturity factor, no longer an issue.
Long and athletic is what Kentucky's defense is. That's not defined by the transfers. The transfers are offensive-minded. They can score. You can put them in any set, in any concept. They're capable. And then this young man right here, Xavier Wheeler, changes the entire complexion of the pace and the flow of the game. And this is going to be a fun Kentucky team to watch because there's fast, and then there's going to be Xavier Wheeler fast on this team.
He's going to be NASCAR fast. One more thought about bringing in a new roster but experienced players. I talked to John Calipari about it. He said, are you kidding me? I love it. The veterans are on time. They know what's expected. They have their schedule. They know their routines. Freshmen have to learn that, and I have to learn them throughout the course of the season. It's almost like you're getting one-and-done talent that's already been seasoned.
Tom, it's a Kentucky team, when you look at their roster, they are right back in the hunt as SEC champions and a real contender, I believe, for the Final Four. They have all the pieces. I walked into this gym a year ago and walked out after day one. I didn't think they're only going to win 9 games, but that was not what Kentucky's supposed to look like. Not at all last year. This is what Kentucky is supposed to look like and what the fans expect.
Last year's team, an anomaly. Let's face it, lowest scoring team in the Calipari era, the worst field goal percentage in the Calipari era. This is a team that's going to be more offensive minded and can generate some offense and easy baskets with their defense and their ability to rebound. There's the dribble up the floor, Jimmy, but you and I were talking in practice the last 2 days about the way they can advance pass, the way they run. They're sprinting every time. Coach Cal wants them to go 100% fast and then assess and read, and they're getting better at it every day.
If they're looking for someone to run the tempo, there is a Kentucky-branded guard out there in Ty Washington who could be one and done, and that is the talent that you've come to expect coming into Kentucky.
He's a typical John Calipari point guard in that he's all of 6'3", closer to 6'4". He's not a Chet, but he has good enough speed to go by people. He sees the game a pass or two ahead. We asked him today, describe yourself as a player. He said, I'm a scoring guard. And then he said, at the end of the day, I win. That's what this program's all about. If you're not a guard playing for Calipari, that you can't take hard coaching, and you don't expect to win, you don't belong here. Ty Washington the last 2 days, to me, has shown me I belong at Big Blue Nation. They're going to love me.
Yeah, I agree, Jimmy. When we talked to him, he said Severe Wheeler has made him a better ball handler, a better point guard, because Severe's where he is. He's under his elbows trying to defend him when he's trying to bring the ball up the floor. When you handle that kind of ball pressure against a player like Wheeler who can bring it every day, 94 feet, it's going to make you better, and he is highly motivated. What's interesting to me is when we talked about their motivation and their leadership skills to both Ty and Severe, they're both the oldest of 5 and 6 siblings.
Yeah.
These two guys know how to lead and how to manage different personalities. They're going to form a really fun backcourt to keep an eye on.
Speaking of leading, when you played in John Calipari's program, it's almost your responsibility, if you have a year or two under your belt, to bring those freshmen along. Not just to manage the expectations of Big Blue Nation, but also to help manage the coach, John Calipari, who is a taskmaster. They have that in Keon Brooks, who's not just a leader from an experience standpoint, but this dude can play.
He was the best player on the floor for 2 hours during Thursday's practice when I was there. He made jump shots. He had the pull-up game going. He is flying around the rim as a rebounder. I just think he trusts his voice. He trusts how Cal wants to play right now. And those younger guys are going to him. I saw him on the sidelines being a coach. That player-driven stuff that Cal always talks about, I think Keon steps up into that role. Does he play the 4? Does he play a small ball 5 at times? He's a versatile kid, but he's got a lot of pop around the rim, has worked a lot on the high-release jump shot, and it looks really good right now rolling off of his wrist.
They've all got the floater game.
They do.
He protects the rim defensively, and I thought his confidence level is what it appeared to be different to me, for me in practice the last 2 days. He just looks like he's comfortable, he wants to run, he has all the physical tools to fly down the floor. He's a great finisher at the rim, and I think defensively he can guard 1 through 5, which gives Coach Cal the kind of defensive versatility and length that he likes to have. There'll be a lot of different matchups and lineups that Coach Cal can put on the floor this year, but Keon Brooks will be a staple defensively.
Yeah, positionless basketball. Then there's Damian Collins. If you're looking for somebody who can leap, he went all the way to the top at Pro Day, hit the final rung on the vertical jump meter. This guy is a pogo stick, and he's a real talent inside.
Well, he's 6'9" and weighs 202. He's already gained 15 pounds since he arrived in Lexington. And then to work on his body is the next challenge. But he can do stuff, Tom, that you can't coach, you can't recruit. You either have it or you don't. His ability to make flying plays around the rim, to erase mistakes defensively with that speed and the length, I think is where he's going to impact the game as much as anybody. And Bryce Hopkins, the other freshman there on the screen, remember the name coming up when we go to Bryce Hopkins. That dude is a dude. I'm telling you, Bryce Hopkins is going to be something special.
Hopkins and Frederick have been limited physically. We'll see if they can get some run in tonight. Let's get you back to the floor. Andrea Carter and Sean Farnham.
All right, Big Blue Nation, now that your Wildcats are all warmed up, it's time we crown a 3-point champion. Same setup as before, 60 seconds each. The final ball on each rack is the money ball worth 2 points. This time we're gonna have 6 contestants, 2 players, 1 on each side going at the same time. Top 2 will compete for the 3-point championship.
All right, our first contestant going to be over here. He is a 2,000 career point scorer, averaging better than 17 points per game over the course of his collegiate career. And oh, by the way, he shoots better than 38% from beyond the arc. Big Blue Nation, let's welcome Kellen Grady.
And on this end, he's a graduate senior. He declared for the draft, but decided to come back for more Big Blue Nation. Give it up for Davion Mintz.
Kellen, are you ready? Davion, are you ready? You ready? Here we go. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! Kellen Grady just cleared the top of the key rack. $16 for Kellen Grady. 16 for Kellen Grady.
17 for Davion Mintz. 17.
All right, up next down here on this side. Tell me if you heard this before. Coach Al
With Jacob Toppin here on the baseline during the three-point shooting contest. Jacob, I want to get right to it. 9 wins last year. That's to continue to burn in your belly. Talk about how last season will motivate you guys right now going forward.
Yeah, so the returnees, we don't want to have a season like we did last season, so there's a lot of pickup that we did in the offseason. The new guys know what it is. We all know what it is, so we're putting in the work. We're creating that bond with each other so we don't have another season like we did last year.
Cal brought in some guys from the transfer portal, some older guys that have had success in other leagues. What have you seen from those transfer guys?
I'm loving it. The transfers are going to be big for us. We have a group of guys where everyone needs to find what they need to do to bring to the table, and I feel like we have different weapons. We have multiple weapons from all around the floor, and I feel like the transfers are going to be a big help for us this year.
Jake, you guys have been working a lot on the dribble drive, driving the basketball, getting back to John Calipari, dominate the backboard, get to the free throw line. The importance of shooting, though, in that offense. Talking about C.J. Frederick, Kellen Grady, those guys. What do they give you this year that you didn't have last year?
They give us shooting, the ability to shoot the ball. We want to play fast, like Cal said before, so we're going to sprint the court. We're going to drive the lanes. We're going to get into the paint so we can find our shooters so they can make shots.
I've seen you banging in practice a little bit against Oscar Sheboy. What's it like when you hit him or he hits you?
Oscar's a big dude. A lot of people have something coming for them when Oscar's in the game. He's strong, and you don't want to hit him.
Jacob, thanks for your time.
Yep, thank you.
All right, coming up now, down on this side of the floor, let's go back. Let's go back to Mississippi State. Let's think about 6 made three-pointers in one game. He's one of the purest shooters out of the great state of Kentucky. Ladies and gentlemen, Dante Allen.
And finally, Coach Cal has had a history of finding great players in Chicago. He found another one this year. 4-star prospect, consensus top 50 recruit. Give it up for Bryce Hopkins.
Here we go in 3, 2, 1. got a final that was pretty easy to tabulate here. Let's bring them out. CJ, you're going to be down on this end of the floor. Ty, you're going to be down here on this end of the floor. This is for the three-point championship. Big Blue Nation, let's give some noise. All right, gentlemen, are we ready? CJ, you ready? Ty, you ready? All right, here we go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Severe Wheeler, you got to catch him when you can. Severe, what have you had the most fun doing tonight here at Big Blue Madness?
The most fun is just watching my teammates shoot. There's been a lot of competition who's been the best shooter between Ty and CJ, and I think we just found out it might be CJ. So I'm expecting a lot of smack talk when we get back to the locker room.
You've got a game that's all about speed. You love to score, but you love to distribute. What about this crowd when you're in this building playing in Rep Arena and your teammates are knocking down triples?
Man, it's gonna be crazy. I know it's gonna be electrifying. Seeing the crowd support us when we make shots, when we throw alley-oops to each other, and ultimately we're playing for each other to win games. And I know that's gonna be a great experience.
Get out of here and go have some fun. Thank you.
Debbie, it's fitting. He wears Sonic the Hedgehog socks. He's got Hedgehog-type speed going after those rings this season with Kentucky. Xavier Wheeler's done it in the SEC. Now he's doing it for Big Blue Nation. When we return, they'll go above the rim. The dunk contest is coming up next from Rupp Arena. Tomorrow on the SEC Network, it all starts with Marty McGee, live at 9 a.m. Eastern from Athens, Georgia, followed immediately by SEC Nation to get you set for the full day of football. We are just about ready for the dunk contest. They got them all riled up and ready with some half-court shots. And now Andrea Carter, my man Sean Farnham, going to walk you through the contestants and the rules of this one, and this is going to be fun.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the slam dunk competition. Each contestant will have 30 seconds to complete their dunk on this basket. Once they have made their dunk, this clock will stop. We have 2 rounds. The judges will score each dunk. The combined score between the 2 rounds will determine the overall championship. First, let's introduce our judges. He's a member of the 2012 National Championship team. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Darius Miller.
Our next judge is a Kentucky native who played in the most games of any Coach Calipari coached player. Give it up for Dominique Hawkins.
This next Wildcat is one of the all-time greats. His number 21 hangs from the rafters. He was part of the national championship team in 1978. Ladies and gentlemen, Goose Gibbons.
Up next, we've got a point guard for 2 national championship teams, 96 and 98. Let's hear it for Wayne Turner.
Now, Big Blue Nation, I don't need to tell you this, but there's getting buckets, and then there's getting buckets. My man dropped 54 on Tennessee. 54! He's a 2009 All-American. Give it up for Jody Meeks.
And our three contestants will have you at half court. I'll call all three of you. First up, we'll have Damian Collins, then Kareem Watkins, and then Jacob Toppin.
We're ready to go. 30 seconds on the clock. Mr. Collins, the court is yours. Time is ticking. And judges will score it. Judges will score it. We got a 9, 8, 8, and 8. I'm not a math major, but we have people over at the table that are. We got a 9, 8, and 8, and 8. That's 41 points, so I've been told. All right, Kareem, the court is yours. 30 seconds.
With Davion Mintz, best player Kentucky had last year, he's back for another season. Davion, you have to go back 3 years. It's been 3 years since you played in front of a big crowd. What's it like coming into this building tonight for you?
Man, this atmosphere is crazy. Like, it's unbelievable. Like, I'm really thankful to be a part of this. Like, I didn't realize what, you know, you hear about it, you were part of it, but I really didn't see it from my own eyes, and now I did tonight, man. It's been amazing.
Last year, 9 wins.
Yeah.
What's different about this year already that you see in practice?
The talent level, the experience. I mean, guys that play super mature, play with pace, know how to, you know, play the game, and been through a lot of battles. So, I mean, the competitiveness is crazy in practice, and I mean, that's all you can ask for right now.
How does it make you feel when John Calipari says, I could coach you for 10 years? He doesn't say that about very many guys.
Yeah, man, that makes, man, that's a Hall of Fame coach right there saying that. I mean, that means a lot to me. Coach Cal's been a blessing to me, like his mentorship, him helping me throughout this past year. So, man, I'm super grateful for him.
You got a big ovation from the Big Blue Nation. I know they're glad you're back. Go have fun with your
I appreciate it.
So we go to round number 2, Mr. Collins. You're back up. The court is yours, sir. Your 30 seconds will begin now. We are going straight 10s across the board. That is a 50, a 50.
Kareem, you're up next.
We have another score of 50.
All right, Jacob, what you got? 10, 10, 10, 10,
He needed a 45. He got 50. It's over. Ladies and gentlemen, your slam dunk champion is Mr. Toppin. All right, Big Blue Nation, let me ask you this real quick. We've done the three-point competition. We've done the dunk competition. Who wants to see him play? Now we can be better than that. Who wants to see him play? Let's go.
See him play?
The scrimmage is up next.
Well, Jacob Toppin, awfully impressive, but how about 5'8" Kareem Watkins throwing it down?
Hey, Coach said today if Kareem won, he was going to be really mad at his team, right?
Well, yeah, he almost was. This is incredible.
Yeah.
This atmosphere, the energy. College basketball is back like it's supposed to be. You can feel it. We've felt it in here for the last couple of hours. It just continues to grow as the night goes on. Basketball's back, and Kentucky's back.
Yeah.
I really believe it.
We miss it, and we know Big Blue Nation miss having a winning team on the floor. John Calipari says, clean slate. We're not taking anything from last year. It's out the window, and we got new guys. We got a new coaching staff for the most part, and now we get to see what this team looks like on the floor. Debbie, what have you seen in practice? Give us something to watch tonight.
Speed. Watch how hard and fast and wide they run. Watch Severe Wheeler, whether he dribbles through traffic or advanced passes. Those are a couple of things I'm keeping my eye on. Can they play with multiple changes of speed? Because if they can, which is what Cal wants, they're going to be really tough to guard.
Tom, they should be a great defensive team. They should be. We'll see what it looks like going forward, but they're built to be a great defensive team. Offensively, they can flat out shoot the basketball. We've been in this building before over the years where they couldn't make 2 or 3 in a shooting drill. C.J. Frederick can flat out shoot as well as anybody in college basketball. Kellen Grady's right there with him. Ty Washington can shoot the ball. John Calipari's got a lot of pieces. It's not so much for him right now, talking about Calipari, who's he's going to start, who's going to finish the game. That's what every coach is trying to decide right now.
Yes, but Big Blue Nation will watch the rotation tonight, and we will have 17 different articles written on who played with whom and who got how many minutes. And we got a 12-minute scrimmage. It will be interesting. Here's a guy who broke out the platoon, and Devin Booker ends up being an NBA superstar out of that thing. What will we learn as the season progresses about how to find the right 5?
What you're going to learn as the season goes on is this team is going to continue to progress. Coach Cal is going to be able to manage the game and sections and segments the way he wants. If he wants to speed it up, if he wants to slow it down, if he wants to play 50-50, or if he wants to play 94-94, there's a lot of variation there. It's going to be a lot of fun to keep an eye on. And you're right, Jimmy, they can flat out fill it up.
Tom, they're running an offense right now, a dribble drive, as Cal says, on steroids after some time spent with Nick Nurse in the offseason. The cuts are a little different. The rebounding responsibilities out of it. The rotations back are a little different. But this is an offense that Cal loves, and he trusts his guys to put pressure on the defense. I cannot tell you how important it is to have a point guard that can go by his guy and make a play and make the defense react. They did not have that last year. They have that now with Wheeler, and they have it with Ty Washington.
Brooks sharing it with Ware off of a feed from Severe Wheeler. Jimmy, you said they could be a great defensive team. We don't expect to get a good scouting report on the defense in this scrimmage tonight.
No, nor offensively at all. This is a night to have fun and celebrate. And Cal was so good with his guys at the end of practice, talking about enjoy this moment tonight, Debbie. Soak it all in. I think it takes some time. Debbie, you and I have both been on staff here at Kentucky back in the day. It takes some time for new players to really understand how important they are to this state. And this kind of gets them going in that direction tonight.
Well, you heard Coach Cal in his speech talking about how these players become a fabric of the state of Kentucky and how the players have to embrace the fact that these fans are a little bit crazy. And I know Coach Cal means that in the best way. You're right, Jimmy. We've been around the culture here. We know what the fans are like. We know how much they feel like Kentucky basketball is a part of their family. And you have to have the mindset to accept that because they're going to be involved in everything that is going on the floor. They're going to be very knowledgeable. They're going to pay attention.
Yep.
And they're going to have a lot of fun being in the arena with the team this year.
There's Dr. Sheway throwing one down. I think what's interesting to me is these guys are out here a week ago-ish for Pro Day, and there are some guys who couldn't go, including C.J. Frederick couldn't go, and he's still limited tonight. But Bryce Hopkins, we just saw throw down a dunk a second ago. What kind of impact player can Bryce Hopkins be?
Bryce Hopkins dunked on the entire Kentucky team yesterday in a scrimmage. He drove the ball from the wing, took off outside the lane, and just brought the hammer. To the point that Coach Cal looked over at me with like, did you just see that? I think he's a difference maker player. He's been hard coached by his dad. Every time the whistle stops and Coach Cal starts talking, Bryce Hopkins is all in. He's engaged. I think this kid's just going to get better and better and better. And he's not a guy, Tom, right now they're counting on from day one. You got older guys that can allow a kid like Bryce Hopkins to grow into the moment.
I think that is the key with the Power 5 transfers that he's brought in. Throw Davidson in the mix is a great program, but allowing that buffer for younger players to find their footing, which has not always been possible under John Calipari.
No, I mean, you got to have a certain mindset. You got to understand the kind of toughness and fight and competitiveness you got to bring to practice every day. Because practice in this building with this group in blue and white is not easy, and it's not for everyone. And you have to be able to be ready to take it on. But, you know, I see the game through an offensive lens, obviously. I mean, I'm so impressed by the speed, the length, the decision-making at a quick rate of speed. And, you know, playing through the nail or playing through the elbows, that's where those cuts are coming from, Jimmy, that you were talking about, and the space that this team can create. They're going to make the game easier for each other if they continue to run hard and cut hard, and they'll do that all year.
I scored 29 career points over a 4-year time, so I see the game from a defensive standpoint. But I will say this about Cal. He told his guys today, you know, I may put 5 of you out there and say, you can stay on the floor until you give up 6 points. The emphasis that he's going to put on defensively is always who he is. You look at his teams that have at least gone to the Elite Eight, they've always finished in the top 10 defensive efficiencies. He has the weapons, he has the guys to be that type of a defensive team this year.
And he said when he has shot blockers, that makes a difference for the way they can pressure and the way they can move up the line and what they can do 94 feet. And he's got shot blockers. He's got plenty of guys to protect the rim.
He's got competition, and that's something that maybe they didn't have last year, especially with when it came to playing time and guys wanting to be on the floor versus needing to be on the floor. That competition for this Kentucky team is at just about every position. By the way, Jacob Toppin had a dunk that was so good, he just ran over to the bench and sat down. I'm good. I'm out. Not getting any better than that. We're going to hear from John Calipari. Jimmy and Debbie will go over to the bench, talk to him during the second half of this scrimmage, learn what he loves about this team and what he loves about this event. Blue, white, Big Blue Madness continues. Back to Rupp. We'll hear from the Hall of Famer, Coach Cal, right after this. College football tripleheader tomorrow on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. A&M and Mizzou from Columbia at noon, followed by Vanderbilt in South Carolina. And we finish it with Ole Miss and Tennessee in a shootout on Rocky Top. We've had a little bit of everything tonight. How about the Kentucky dance team?
Your UK dance team and special guest, winner of So You Think You Can Dance, Season 16, Bailey Munoz.
Bailey Munoz with the finish. Scrimmage is done. John Calipari's got a mic in hand. He wants to talk a little bit more about his team and to our team.
How about our football team? Obviously, you saw our women's team, who are going to have a great season. And I got to throw in, how about our volleyball team winning the national title? All right. As you saw in the scrimmage, it was really defensive-minded. So I'm cutting it off. We got 2 practices tomorrow, but the guys want to go up and say thank you. So they're going to run up and touch. You guys go ahead. Dante, go ahead, run. Look, go up, guys. Go, 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 go.
And I got a really big team, man. They need some really big rings. And I got a really big team, man. And I got a really big team, man. They need some really big rings. Stick 'em up in the air.
talking about the fans, as it was about tonight, how do you feel walking out of here now?
Well, I'm so happy for our fans and for these players to be able to, you know, this is what Kentucky's about. Road games, home games, this environment. And you know what? They got to see it. And having Ozma and Clarke here, Terence's mom and grandmother's brother and sister, was a big deal.
Coach, we've had so much fun watching your team practice. You look like you're having more fun. You look totally energized. What's been the best part about this group of kids?
When the summer, the fall, they come back, and all of a sudden we're like really trusting one another. Very competitive. You saw it. They're going at each other. But I'm having a ball with them.
Coach, thanks for your time tonight.
Thanks.
Hey,
appreciate it.
It's a different deal than last year. I'm just telling you.
Thanks.
Hey, the biggest thing I got from John Calipari at practice when I went by was this is fun, and it should be a fun season for this Kentucky basketball team. I know Big Blue Nation is happy to get back inside Rupp Arena and to see their squad in person this year, as many people as can fit in the seats. What a scene. Rupp Arena, Big Blue Madness. Don't forget, Friday night, it's a blue-white game, 7 o'clock Eastern, right here on the SEC Network, and as always, available on the ESPN app. We got Kentucky volleyball coming up next as well. Number 5 Kentucky on the road in Baton Rouge against LSU. For Debbie Antonelli, Jimmy Dykes, our fantastic SEC Network crew, I'm Tom Hart. Welcome back, college basketball. Welcome back, Kentucky Wildcats, as they look for a return to the NCAA tournament. They do it with new faces and a new roster. What a great celebration for all of college basketball. This is Tom Hart. Have a great weekend, everybody.